Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy weekend and happy Valentine to us all. How are we all doing? Please, can anyone hear me? Can we confirm you can hear me by signifying with our favorite emoji? Let us feel the energy in the room. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Ogechi. Thank you very much. So we're all welcome to this insightful session on career, on love and family. This particular session is going to be very this session is going to be very insightful and is hosted by the SP Worry Section 104. And if you can look at the lineup of speakers we have, you know that you are in for a ride. So we are here to find balance between our professional ambition and personal fulfillment. Even as petroleum engineers, we often find this friction between our personal lives, balancing work, spending so much time at work, then you just want to rest, you don't want to talk to anybody when you even get the chance to get off work. So today's session promises to give you a full insight on how to balance career and personal life. So sit tight, you are in for a ride. So in this session, we'll be having our safety brief, which is going to be done by Miss Macaulay. Oh, sorry. Before we go on, I'm your moderator for today, Victoria, your AYP SP Worry section. Thank you. So, Miss Macaulay, rather. Thank you. Please, you can have the safety brief.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator. Please confirm you can hear me.
We can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. Good evening, and once again, happy Valentine. So I'll walk you through for this event. Despite it being a virtual event, we still need to take safety seriously. So with that, we should ensure that we are seated properly and also ensure to mute your mic when not speaking. Do well to raise your hand if you want to speak. And with those with headsets, we should ensure to still hear the fire alarm while we are on in this event. Uh, Use the chat box for comments and for questions. We should ensure to be alert of our environment. We do not expect to have any drill, but if there is a drill wherever you are, do well to leave the meeting, attend to any emergency. And when you're done, you can come back and attend the event. We should always stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Macaulay. So moving on, we'll be having our icebreaker session by Samuel Wellesley. Samuel Wellesley, please confirm we are on the call and speak now.
Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
We can hear you.
So, we'll be going over the icebreaker session. Next slide, please. So, I want it to be interactive. Let's make use of the chat box to give reaction to the question. So, the first question is, do you believe work-life balance is real? Do you believe work-life balance is real? Let's make use of the chat box. I want to hear our opinions. Do you believe that work-life balance is real? I'm not seeing any reactions. Okay. Okay, Madam Macaulay and Mandalin said very real. Macaulay, yes, I do. Okay, Prof. Juliet, yes. Okay, yes. Temitope, yes, but very hard. Okay. Oh, yes, but sometimes hard to balance. My own view, I believe is next question. Would you rather build success together with your partner or succeed first before getting glitched? Um, so next question. Will you rather build alone then when you are established? Okay, build together. Prof. Juliet said build together. Both can work in my opinion. Okay, Rejoice said both can work. Um, always build together. We have team build together. Oh. Some of us that are thinking building alone. Succeed first. I've seen my partner, Juliana. Succeed first, I will. Oh, it depends on the partner. Sure. Build together. Success is continuous. That's Chukwu Ebuka. Okay. So the house is divided, but I think team build together is like 70%. Oh, and then okay. So in let's go over to the next one since we don't have any other um question reaction. How do you define a healthy relationship with work? Are you the go achievers, go getters? How do you define a healthy relationship with work? Reactions. Hello, are we still there? Can I still be heard? Hello? Having money and having support. Money woman. Healthy relationship with work means I'm growing while doing the work. Victoria. Okay. For me, healthy relationship with work means that I still have my time to do other things that my outputs in my work should not really determine like my happiness, my overall happiness in life. Okay, when balance the two together, thriving on both ends. Yes, thriving on both ends. Okay, next question. Having time for other that's it. Having time for other important things side by side. Callistus. Next question, please. What does personal fulfillment look like outside of your job? What does personal fulfillment look like outside of your job? Do you feel bored when maybe there's a public holiday or when you are on leave? How is the feeling like? Do you feel happy not going to work? Is your work the weapon fashioned against you? You feel bored, Callistus. Wow. Excited. Time to explore cities to chill. Rejoice. Okay. Being able to talk to friends. Wow. Is when you are not based on your work portfolio. Great by chilling. Being able to sleep. Very important. As Ogechi. Being able to sleep. Having a healthy family, hobbies that make you excited, giving back to the society. Juliana. The fifth question: what is one conversation about career or family you wish you had more openly? So all those questions you used to ask ChatGPT, now is the time to ask it. You can ask it here so that our distinguished speakers can proffer answers to them. So you are free to ask. What is one conversation about career or family you wish we had more? You could have more. You can speak to someone openly about them. Why are we hiding now? Okay, conversation about the amount of time we would devote to work. Conversation about money. Money. How can I balance the two? Okay. So that's exactly why we are here. I guess these questions will be answers will be given to them. Jobs that transfer you away from your family. How do you navigate the balance? Okay, for people that work um offshore. Conversation about around career paths. Okay. We had a lover of money in our midst. Yes, so we have lovers of money in our midst. But it's very essential altogether. Um, Having children while working is not easy. Okay, I guess we also throw more light on that. How long do you stay on a job before getting married? Wow. What makes a relationship work? Chukwebuka. So I am very sure these questions will also guide our panelists and our keynote speakers on how to speak to us this evening. So let's continue dropping our questions. Raising kids, why? When both partners are actively working, are actively field workers. Okay, so how do you navigate when the both parents are field workers? So that's the question from Ogechi. So let's go to the sixth one. I think that should be the last. Love that supports your career or career that supports your love life. What? Both. Chukwuebuka said both. Na collabo. Victoria said na collabo. I want both. Love said both. Okay. I'm confused, but I pick number two. It's my okay. Love that supports my career. Love that support love that supports their career. Okay. Macaulay said love that supports my career. Career that gives me rest and peace of mind. Dr. Sarah. A career that fuels love. Oh. Now money them they use to take find love. That's what I'm observing from our reaction. Why are you asking me now? Sunday. That's not it's not in my purview to answer. Our panelists will do justice to that question. Now, next question. Next question. Consistency or intensity? Which matters more in both career and relationship? So this is the last question. Let me get all the reaction. Okay, consistency, 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 consistency. Okay, Everyone goes with team consistency. Pressure. Team pressure, no dey. So thank you very much for your reactions. This will be the end. See you guys some other time. Over to you, the moderator.
Thank you so much, Wesley Samuel, for that exciting session. It was truly a nice breaking session indeed. So we're moving on to the next session, and we're going to have our opening remark from our very amiable engineer, Mrs. Magdalene Plumo. Can we get some reaction for her? It's such an honor to have you on the call, ma. Please, the floor is yours, ma.
Wow. Thank you so much, Victoria. The icebreaker session is just the tip of the iceberg. I know this will be a very insightful session. So on that note, I would like to say a very warm welcome to our very distinguished colleagues. I can see industry leaders in our midst. I can see senior professionals, young professionals, students, and friends. So it's a very exciting moment to be having this conversation on a day like this. It's actually a very perfect theme for the season of love. Like I always say, I wish while I was a young professional, I had enough of conversations like this. Perhaps I would have been much better than than where I currently am. But I know it's not late for me, and for the young professionals in our midst, you need to really um, make the most out of sessions like this that we have. The topic that we have today is careers, love, and family, finding balance between professional ambition and personal fulfillment. Like we already know, the energy industry is transforming, and it is you and I that remain at the center of this ecosystem. And it's our ability to discover what really works for us, as we navigate this industry. What powers you, what works for you, because what works for one person may not necessarily be what will work for the other person. I've seen that we have a very good lineup of speakers, the keynote speakers, the panelists. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has joined the call. Thank you for the speakers. And I really look forward to these very insightful conversations and learnings that we will be taking home from this to implement. Like I always say, we will not just listen, but we will be able to take back what we have, what we'll be hearing today, and probably implement some of them and see how it works for us. Thank you so much, and welcome everyone to this great session. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. In fact, you've started sharing the insights we came here to look for. You said what works for everyone. Everybody should look for what works for them. And that's very, very insightful. Thank you so much, Ma. So moving on, we'll meet our first keynote speaker, our keynote speaker for today, Engineer Dr. Ebinimi Nixon Bombs. Thank you. Please, can we have our bio displayed? Dr. Ebinimi Nixon Bombs is an accomplished energy economist, petroleum engineer, scholar, and agro-entrepreneur whose career reflects a rare blend of technical depth, strategic leadership, and purposeful living. With over a decade of multidisciplinary experience spanning the oil and gas industry, regulatory compliance, academia, and enterprise development, she has built a reputation for bridging theory with practice while mentoring the next generation of energy professionals. Dr. Nixon Bombs holds a PhD in energy economics and currently serves as a trainer and lecturer at the Petroleum Training Institute, PTI, where she equips emerging engineers with the technical, economic, and strategic competencies required to thrive in a rapidly evolving energy landscape. Beyond academia, she is an economist on strategic energy projects, contributing expertise in financial modeling, investment analysis, risk assessment, and bankability studies. Our work supports capital-intensive projects by ensuring they remain economically resilient in an area defined by transition, volatility, and innovation. Yet, Dr. Nixon Baum's story extends far beyond professional achievements. She's a successful agro-entrepreneur who has built and scaled livestock operations, demonstrating that economic empowerment and diversification are powerful tools for long-term stability. At the heart of our accomplishments is an unwavering commitment to family. As a wife and mother of four, she embodies the reality that ambition and fulfillment are not mutually exclusive, but can be intentionally designed to coexist. Her life's philosophy centers on integration rather than sacrifice, rejecting the myth of perfect balance, and instead advocating for clarity of priorities, disciplined growth, supportive partnerships, and the courage to evolve through different seasons of life. Through our work, mentorship, and leadership, Dr. Nixon Baums continues to inspire young professionals to pursue excellence without abandoning the relationships and values that give success its meaning. Today, she speaks on careers, love, and family, finding balance between professional ambition and personal fulfillment, drawing from real life experience to offer practical wisdom on building a thriving career while nurturing a deeply rewarding personal life. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a clapping ovation. Drop your emojis. Let's welcome Engineer Dr. Ebinimi Nixon Baums.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much. So from the icebreaker session, I already see that a lot of us have, at a point in time in our lives, thought about the career you pursue, if it's going to affect the kind of life you truly want to live. So for many years, I had this thought. I believe that I had to choose between my career and then building a meaningful life. But what I've learned is that you don't necessarily have to choose. You have to design your life and then find what works for you. Balance is not something that is found, it is intentionally built. Early in life, I'd already developed a vision for myself. So I wanted to be in the energy industry. I wanted to contribute meaningfully to the classroom, and I wanted to nurture a close-knit family. And in all this, I just wanted to succeed. But what I didn't know that the path to my vision was not going to be linear. Fresh out of university, I was retained in a role that did not perfectly align with all of these visions. Some people would have walked away for something more prestigious, but I decided to stay. I stayed because I found something very valuable in that offer. Now, what was that? What I found was flexibility. That opportunity gave me the leverage to do what I needed to do at that season in my life. So what I did in that season, I learned people management, emotional intelligence, and how to thrive in an office or in a place with with people from diverse backgrounds. Those lessons I learned in that particular season of my life continue to shape the way I lead currently. So you see that ambition has a voice. Remember, I told you I had a vision for myself, and the place where I was not where I had predetermined that I would be. Because ambition has a voice, and if you listen carefully, ambition will tell you to grow. So I listened. I went back to school. I went back to the academia, and I took further studies in petroleum engineering. That decision was a turning point for me. It opened up doors in the energy space and actually offered me opportunities that I once only imagined. But while building a career, I was also building a life alongside. So that means I was having babies, I was going about my normal activities, and then trying to excel at my career. So I decided to see family not as an obstacle to my ambition, but as a foundation for it. So that was the first step. Through every season, I carried my family along. Now, what felt like delayed progress was actually strategic preparations. There were times when I felt I was lagging behind, while others forged ahead. But then growth is not always loud. Sometimes it's just quietly knitting your future together. In those times where I felt I was lagging behind, what happened was that faith helped me through. That's my faith in God. My discipline was another thing that helped me. I remained focused on what I wanted, and then vision was what guided me. Now we say that faith is what propels us, and all of that vision was my guide. Now, currently, I drive long distances to work. I give my best professionally, and then I still come back home to the people who matter the most. It is in that integration that I have found fulfillment, not ease, not perfection. What I've found is alignment, and that is what works for me. Now, I would say have a vision for yourself and guard it. Your seasons will change, priorities will change. Some seasons will demand more of you than others, but hold that vision tight. Don't let it go. Career, love, and family are not competing forces. With courage, with support, and with determination, you can actually build a life where all these three coexist beautifully. So think about it. What is a successful career without a community that cheers you on or a family that believes in you? So after you have put in 35 years at work and you go back home, who is at your dinner table? So you need to find a way to get what works for you. So in my own integration, I have found fulfillment. Finally, I would say to you, we do not find balance, we build balance, and you're more capable of building the balance than you can ever imagine. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Can we drop our reactions? Is clapping ovation for our keynote speaker. She has said a lot of insightful things, and some really stood out for me. She mentioned that growth is not always loud, and you can see it from how she picked that career. She picked flexibility. So she also learned people management, like is a very good skill for somebody to have, because it's not only your career, you'll be dealing with people. You deal with people every time, every day. So thank you very much, ma. That was very, very insightful session. Thank you so much for talking about discipline. In fact, this session is so rich, but I thank you very much, ma. And I know that the ones we're about to have to will be also rich. So moving on, we'll be having our panel session. Oh, sorry, before we have a panel session, we'll be having a photography session. Please let's switch on our cameras.
All right, so please.
Okay, let's switch on our camera for the photography session. Thank you very much. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, Maz. Thank you. Such a delight to see your beautiful faces.
Thank you. Let's smile. We can do the thumbs up, the SP thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that has been taken.
Yes, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So our next session will be having our panel session, and I believe we're going to learn so much from this session. And to take us in the panel session, we'll be having our panel session host in person of Temitope Asimi. Timotokwe Asimi, please, can you hear me?
Good evening, everyone, and yet again, welcome to another insightful session. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I won't be doing the session alone. I will be doing it with Ms. Ogechi Oshemeka, and we'll both be moderating this session. It promises to be insightful, and as we can see from the engaging icebreaker session to the very interesting keynote speech that was given, and we've also learned from that it is not between career and love, and they are not competing forces, but you can definitely find a balance. It does not end there. We would still be meeting amazing lineups of speakers that will be sharing from their very rich experience on this balance. And I won't be doing the session alone. I'll be doing it with Miss Ogechi. Kindly say hello to us.
Hello everyone, good afternoon, good evening, and it's such an honor to be here. So Timmy and I will be taking the session. And like she said, from the icebreaker, we already have hints of what to expect. So yeah, so we can just begin. Thank you.
So let's meet our panelists. Thank you. On the call, we have our first panelist here, Professor Juliet, and she's the Dean of School of Postgraduate Studies in FUPRI. Ma, please, if you're on the call, kindly say hello to us.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you. And it's nice that Session 104 YP is doing this. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am. So the next person, we have person of Mr. Ibifaha Bebenimibu. He's a reservoir engineer at NNPC. Kindly say hello to us. We're happy to have you on the call, sir.
Hi, hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. And to the next person, we have Mrs. Monique Ekoluba. She's a field engineer at Baker Hughes. Ma, please kindly say hello to us. Hello, Mrs. Monique. Hello, ma'am. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
Timmy, we can hear you. We can hear
All
you.
right.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I guess we'll just move on. Probably she has a network glitch. So now I'll start with reading the very first profile. Trust me, it's an amazing one, and I would like us to keep a virtual applause going while I read. So we have Professor Juliet Edafu Gore. She's the current dean of School of Postgraduate Studies and the immediate past Directorate of Strategic Plan and Implementation, as well as a former head of Department of Earth Science, that is Geology and Geophysics, at the Federal University of Petroleum Resources, EFRU, where she lectures and supervises undergraduate and postgraduate geology and geophysics students. She has also served as a member of the University Governing Council. With over 25 years of professional experience in geoscience, Professor Juliet is a Council of Mining Engineer and Geoscience Certified Geoscientist. Her area of specialization includes seismic data interpretation, well logging, groundwater assessment, environmental management, and HSE. She has worked with Geosolutions Department of the Shell Petroleum Development Company in both Port Harcourt and Warri as a research geoscientist, where she was involved in 3D seismic data interpretation. In addition, she has served as a consultant to several multinational and indigenous companies, including ND Western, First Hydrocarbon Nigeria, Heritage Energy Operational Services Limited. Our professional experience spans multiple Nigerian delta projects, focusing on seismic data interpretation, pore pressure, and seismic anisotropy across various depot belt. She has also been actively involved in health, safety, and environment initiative and implementation programs for over a decade. This is an amazing profile. Please let's keep the applause coming. She has done so much, she has achieved so much, and she has been able to balance it. Professor Juliet currently serves as the non-executive director and business development manager of Fupri Energy Nigeria Limited, the consulting arm of the university. She's an active member of several professional bodies, including the Nigeria Association of Petroleum Explorers, the Society of Exploration Geophysics, American Association of Petroleum Geophysics, Nigeria Mining and Geoscience Society. Professor Juliet has participated in numerous national and international conferences, workshops, and seminars in the oil and gas energy sector. She is happily married and blessed with 4 children. She's a biomedical engineer, a lawyer, a chemical engineer, and a software engineering student. Wow. In her leisure time, she enjoys reading, watching documentaries, and traveling. Please, with the virtual applause, let's keep it coming. Let's welcome Mrs. Juliet on the call. Ma, can you say hello again? We want to hear your voice after reading this amazing profile.
Okay, so thank you so much. Good evening, Session 104, and any other session that I've joined. Thank you so much, and it's nice. I'm happy that you invited me for this. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, ma'am. So I'll hand over to my co-moderator to take the next profile.
Thank you very much, Tammy. My wonderful achievements. So I'm going to go on to read the next person, who is Engineer AB. So Mr. Ebifaga Bebenimibo is a reservoir engineer with NNPC E&P Limited, where he evaluates production concerns and ensure optimum recovery from oil and gas fields. Prior to joining NNPC, he worked as a process operator within Indorama, LMF Fertilizer and Chemical Limited. Ebifaga is multi-award and scholarship winner in his early days, having won the 2009 Delta State Best Chemistry Student Award sponsored by Chevron Nigeria Limited, in addition to 5 major scholarships while in Obafemi Awolowo University, where he earned a BSc degree in chemical engineering. He also graduated as the best student in biochemical engineering, as awarded by Professor Layokun. He was also the 2016 SPOAU president, where he passionately brought new ideas and excellence that won an award and various recognitions, which has had a major impact in the chapter's growth on campus. He loves to play chess, dance, read inspiring books, and motivate both students and young professionals to dream big and see beyond the present circumstance. In his famous quotes, "No status is static." Wow, those profiles where you read and you're like, God, where? Mr. Ivy, please just kindly say hello to us once again, because this is incredible, sir.
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. To also be a panelist alongside Professor Juliet. Thanks for the honor. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. We look forward to asking you many questions too. So I'm going to leave the floor open for my co-moderator, Tammy, to take over. Thank you.
All right, so we have yet another interesting person on the call who has been able to manage both career and love. And we have Mrs. Monique Elukuba. She's currently a wireline field engineer in Baker Hughes, a leading energy company in the world. Working as a field engineer, she carries out various wireline logging operations, both open hole and cased hole, deploying tools down hole to obtain data which the customer uses to make decisions on the well. This logging operation cut across cement evaluation, formation evaluation, log interpretation. Prior to this present role, Monique has worked as a petroleum engineer in Etopo Energy PLC. She also interned in Heritage Energy Operational Services Limited. Monique is an alumnus of Federal University of Petroleum Resources, interesting, Delta State. She graduated with first class honor from the Department of Petroleum Engineering and as the best graduating student in her department for her set. She was also a multi-scholarship awardee. Please let's keep the applause coming, and led various positions. Monique is passionate about imparting the next generation and also interested in the girl child. She loves traveling, studying, watching football, and spending time with family. Monique is happily married with two amazing kids. Please let's welcome Mrs. Monique. Please kindly say hello to us, my on the call. All right, this was an amazing profile as well, and we're happy to have you on the call. I believe you will join us as we move on. So now we'll go into the panel session proper. Sorry, let me display. Kindly give me some minutes to display this screen. Kindly confirm you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Sorry for the delay. So we'll start now properly our panel session, and the theme for today is career, love, and family, finding balance between professional ambition and personal fulfillment. So we have the first question for Mr. E.B. Faga Bebenimbu, and I'll read. So, how do career paths in the oil and gas and energy industry affect love and family life, considering the industry's unique demand and frequent relocations? So we know about how the best place for the oil and gas operation is Port Harcourt or Delta, and you're probably in Lagos, but you have to relocate down to Port Harcourt because that's where you get to like do the field operation. So, sir, please share insights with us. We are willing to learn. Over to you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So thanks again once more for inviting me. This is actually very interesting. I'll be missing some of the points I will say with some stories and all that. That trade. I actually love this topic because within the week, yeah, some persons were interviewing me too, and these were some of the questions they were asking. Especially as to how it ties with frequent relocations. For me, um I've been a party to the frequent relocation, constant traveling, and all that, right? And yeah, I can be able to speak on some certain aspects to this. So I just want to share a little stuff to tell every young professional in the house. Maybe this might not be your story now, but just prepare for the yeah, it's something everybody will want to have, right? By that I mean maybe yeah, you have not even left the shores of the country and you just get a good job and you're traveling every part of the world, right? It's something that every student or every young professional hope for, right? But is how it affects family and love life now that we're talking about. There are some dreams where you want to get to, but at certain point you have to be prepared for um there are perks to it and there are also some downsides to it too. So those are some of the things we're discussing. And like they said, knowledge is power so that you can be able to grab it. I remember back in school days, right? I had not gone beyond Lagos, Ibadan, and Warri because I schooled around Ife. I schooled in Ife. And then when I was finishing school, right, I was opportune to do a little bit of MC. And when I went for NYSC, I was like, I want to travel the world. So I'll not have where to go, but I'll just like Port Harcourt is next. And before you know, job opportunity will come to Port Harcourt and I'll go. And then so I will just type then. I remember on my status when I was still, coming up as a young, I'll be like, Abuja is next, right? And just like fun, before something will come up and they say, me, they invited me for Abuja for something. So now it now came to when I got this job and it turned more to like, international. Oh, US. Oh, I want to go to London. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to, right? So those realities now came around. But at a point, you now be bored. Now, how are the ways that it affects, it affects your love life and all that? Number one, right? I'll say generally, it can make people depend so much on the high income that you're making that if you want to transition to your dream, everybody will be like, what do you mean? I'm just taking generally now. Maybe let's say because of you now, you were taking care of some siblings or you were taking care of putting your child in very good schools and all that. And then it happens that you're like, I'm a born musician. I want to do music. So people will be like, what do you mean? Please, let's concentrate on this. So for people to transition to their dream job, it's very hard. That's why you see anybody that enters into Total, Shell, Chevron, those NMPC, they do it till their retirement age, right? So it's one way where this energy industry tends to affect because family don't want you to transition, right, because of the stability in the job. Another thing that can actually impact on love and family life, right, in this frequent relocation is they call it this re-entry syndrome. It means maybe I go out for a 1 month. Like for me, I came back from the field not after spending 2 weeks, on the field recently. So by the time you come back, right, whether being your relationship you are in or your family also, money can even tell better too, because sometimes you spend like 1 month, 2 months, you never can tell based on what they are doing on location, right? It can have that impact, especially where the person have not seen you for a long while. Of course, let's just say you have some teenagers and all that. So blending with you might be a bit difficult, right? So you have to come in again and try to gain their trust for them to talk, even some friends to bond with and all that. So that re-entry syndrome is there. Also, another part is the social isolation that comes with, these frequent relocations. Because when you go to a new place, right, you need to go bond. Like for me now, I've been transferred from Port Harcourt, I've been to Warri, then later transferred to, Benin, and this year now I've been transferred back to Port Harcourt. So now you now have to start building relationships once more, especially among your, environment and all that. So that isolation can come in for a while. And for some persons that, okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, all right, okay, sorry. So and for those who have kids, right, that's also an impact it has on their life, because if you're moving with them, it means that yes, they will be culturally sound, but you have that aspect where they will not be able to create long-term bonds. Means they might not have long-term relationships, or that's friendship and all that, because they notice that within their stage of growing up, they cannot be able to keep friends for a long time because they move from here, they have moved to another place, and all that. So social isolation can emanate from frequent relocations, and all that. And I'll just put that as one last part, right? Because that restlessness that can come from moving your family from different places and all that can really be um a big impact, especially on a relationship. If you look sometimes in the industry, especially most of the persons that travel quite often, to establish relationship for a long, it might be, except you have very understanding partners, right? Because you can be gone for a job and maybe you're supposed to be there for 2 weeks and then you're there for a month, and if the person doesn't really understand that this is what it takes, right, the relationship might not be able to last long, right? And maybe if you have now a family, your children can miss you for a long time, making it lead to a kind of single parenting system. Yeah, so those are some of the ways. I'll share some of the insights more maybe in further questions. Thank you. Mm.
Thank you very much, sir, for that enlightening answer. I can just imagine the shock when you tell people that, oh, you want to transition from oil and gas that pays into something else. And to most of us that are even young engineers, to us it sounds like, MK, never. So thank you for that wonderful answer. So we're going to move to the next question. And this question is for Professor Juliet Ma. Ma, at what stage should professionals begin to intentionally plan career decisions around family and relationships? And how does this planning evolve over time?
Hello, confirm you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma, I can hear you, ma.
Okay. So, thank you for the question. So, when you say at what stage can they start planning for their, I think they have to be intentional and it has to be early. When you're looking at choosing a career path, I think it has to be early as from secondary school to choose a career path. Because we go back to secondary school, you have the science class, the art class, and all that. So by the time you have choose that and you have made your maybe I want to become an engineer and all that, fine. You have graduated. You are in a particular field like financial shares. Maybe you want to do A. Maybe you want to be in the oil and gas. For one reason or the other, something told you and you're not there. Or maybe you find your dream job immediately you are there. Fine. But whatever you need to be able to, even if you are not there, for instance, I want to work in social industry. And for one reason or the other, that industry did not work out immediately for you. Wherever you find yourself, go ahead and do short courses, get trainings that have to do with that career path that you love. And before you see it, that thing will just click as far as you not abandon it totally. So at what stage is as early as possible that you can do that. And while you are even as a student, once you applaud your career and want to be a petroleum engineer or a civil engineer, as the case may be, even during holidays, you see that you can be able to go for short courses, get trained, get better things on that career path, attend conferences that has to do with that career path and all that. In that way, by the time you are even graduating as a university student, you have all that certification that will boost, that will make you to be better than the rest, in case you go for interview, that will stand you out. So you stand out at early. And I know even in career, we have early career, we have mid career, we have senior career, by the time you are getting to advanced level, planning for retirement and all that. So as long as when you start, you will be able to explore. Let's assume that you are employed as a GT, GT that is just like young professionals. You'll be able to become and be able to explore and be able to learn. Because that is when you need to really learn and study your role and understand it perfectly well. So it's not time to just like, okay, oh, I've gotten this job, it's well paying and all that, and just bugan. Like, you will not be able to calm down and get the job well done. So that time you need to learn from your senior colleagues and all that, and know what the nitty-gritty of that job. Because at times, too, if you are not calm, you'll not be able to learn and be able to choose and do the right things. And people will see and they will not open their minds to this issue. But when they say you are humble in your role, they will open their mind and be able to put you through so you can grow properly and get to the level you want to grow in that company. And looking at the mid career, by the time you finish your early career, you're able to see that, yes, I really want to stay in this career. Like as the previous speaker was saying, do I want to port? Do I want to cross to another career, or I want to stay, or I don't want to stay? So depending on what you are, what you want to do. So that way you need to consider that and be able to see how you can get those shortcuts to intensify and be able to get to stabilize. And in all that, we must be flexible. You must be flexible. So because planning must remain flexible because life itself, seasons change, things change. So your planning you must not be so rigid. At times we want what they call it now. What we want from life is not what life might give us. But whatever life gives us, if you have your eggs, you'll be able to make omelette from the eggs, you'll be able to make boiled egg from the eggs and all that. So whatever life goes, don't be so rigid that at the end, the way the opportunity is opening somewhere and God is taking you to a greater point, but you are just locked in that place. When you don't move, you don't know the opportunities in the next place that you're supposed to be. So it's better to start early and be able to be focused and be able to get all the keys you need to get in that particular career that you are choosing. And doing that, choosing career planning, you need to be able to see how you plan for what can help you build a family. I think the keynote speaker said something like that. By the time you put in 35 years of work in a company or in an institution, anywhere you find yourself, what happens when you retire? What happens? I met a young professional that said, I don't want to marry. And I don't want to just be focused and let me make life and all that. I don't want to get married. So that kind of decision. So by the time you get old and all that, what happens? Who will be there for you? So that is why it's important to make those decisions. I equally had a friend, the bank manager in Access Bank. You know, she leaves the house like as early as like 5:36, and she comes back as late as 10 p.m. So that kind of career in a home, and the husband too was a banker. So imagine how those family would look like. So those when you are equally choosing a career, please consider a career that will enable your children to have a good life, because money is not the end of it. Money is not everything. You can give them all the money, and if your fatherly care, your motherly care is missing, you have lost it. So people spend money, even as well, because I've seen people that spend money, send their children to the best university, Harvard, whatever, whatever, and then the children go there and they are in drugs and all that. And for one reason or the other, they are not. At times it's not all about money. Money is good, yes, but it's not all about money. As far as you are giving them all the takes with the money, yes, plan a career that will equally help you, will help your children to be good, because you can only be successful when you have successors. So you plan it from day one as you are starting your career. So by the time you, as a keynote speaker, by the time you finish your career and you don't have a child standing, all of them are just wayward. Then what is the essence of the money? The money will not make any sense to you. So that is why it's equally good that when we plan our career, let's look at what will favor you as a family person. Let's not, for men, yes, they can be very flexible, they can do all and all that. Like as when the last panelist was, previous panelist was saying, that okay, move the children and all that from place to place and all that. Moving the children is one thing, but when you're moving the children, they are saying that somebody too is not having a career. That means your spouse will not have a career, because if your spouse have a career, today you're in Lagos, he follows you. Tomorrow you're in Port Harcourt, he follows you. Tomorrow you're in that means the spouse does not have a career. Somebody's career is dead. So and that person happy. So there are lots of things that you need to be able to consider in putting this together when you choose career. I think I need to stop here. Maybe the next question I'll use. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that insightful response, Ma. So she had said a lot, and yes, plan as early as possible, and don't just plan career and money, money, money. Plan it with around family and relationship. Ensure there is a balance between both. So thank you so much, Ma. And we're moving to the next question. And this is for Mrs. Monique. Ma, please confirm you're with us now.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much. So I'll just read your question.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. So can strong romantic and family relationships support career growth? And if so, how do they provide a foundation for resilience in high pressure careers? Did you get that? Thank you so much.
Yes, I did. Please, can you confirm again if you can hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you very much for the question, and thank you everyone for having me. It's a great privilege to be here. Thank you so much to Madam Mandlin for the opening remark, Madam AV for the keynote speech, and to my fellow panelists, uh, AB and Professor Ma. Thanks so much. Okay, to the question, first, I want to say yes, that a strong romantic relationship supports career growth. Definitely yes. Then the second question is, how do they provide a foundation for resilience in high pressure careers? One thing about, should I use the word love? Love is like a foundation for success, for growth. They said God is love, and the building built on Christ can never fall, right? So anything built on love stands sure, and a strong family relationship can support one in a high pressure career. So the family can kind of gives that emotional support, gives that stability and safety in tough times. When you have an understanding and a supportive partner, you know that after work day, you are coming home to reset. So the family there is like a decompressor. After you've had the highs and the highs, or the high cortisol levels and the rest, you know that you are coming home to chill. You have that place of peace where you can forget all the dramas in the office and you come back home to relax. And also, family is there to support you and to motivate you. I like giving instances with my, experience. So last year I wanted to do my breakout, and it was an intense one. But I was the first person in, my country to go through that kind of breakout process. Most persons in 1 hour they've done their breakout, that's for previous days. But this time around, it was supposed to take me 6 days and 2 hours every day for intense presentation and questioning. So how was I able to go through such kind of tough time or high pressure time in my career? Was my family, especially my husband, and the grace of God also there on my side. My husband will always wake me, okay, hey, 2 a.m., wake up, come and study, come and read. Don't touch anything. Don't worry, I will do this, I'll do that. Don't worry, I'll help with the children. I'll do this. So if you don't have a strong family base, how will you get those promotions? How will you take those risks? That's where family comes in. Especially when you have a good family, when you have a good and understanding, a kind and supportive spouse. And that was how I was able to skate through that process successfully. And I got my promotion. So if not because I have a good and strong family base, how would I have been able to achieve that? That's where family comes in to support our careers. And also, the family part is like, should I say, gives you a good perspective as well. Maybe you're in the office and you see that, oh, I'm not doing well with this task, I'm not doing this, or the promotion is not coming. The family is also there to remind you that, hey, you are far more than your job title. You can be a manager there, but at home, you're a father. You can be the boss that gives everybody order, but right here, you are that supportive husband and that supportive father. So it helps to burn out that identity. Maybe if you have setbacks in your profession or something, that's where family comes in. So family helps in standing as a great foundation for resilience in any high pressure career that you do. And it would be great if you have an amazing family and amazing spouse that supports your career growth and that supports everything about you. You will definitely prosper and you will enjoy your career growth. Thank you very much. I don't want to go so far. Thank you very much. I will continue with the further questions. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, ma, I can hear you. Thank you very much, ma, for that wonderful response. Wow. From your response, I think it became very clear to us, at least we young professionals, that family could also be your strongest source of support. So it's very, very important. Thank you very much, ma, for that answer. Thank you. So we're going to move to the next question. So the next question is from Mr. AB. How can professionals communicate career goals clearly with their partners or families, ensuring alignment and support?
All right, confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. I wanted to draw from what Prof mentioned, right? That money is not everything. Because most times when we are very young, you tend to think that, oh, you can, why not Dubai for 4 months? I will go and all that. But that's in Dubai for 4 months. When they give you, when you are married with 3 kids, you now see that you are looking for who will go on your behalf, right? So that's another. That's another. Most times when we came in the system, we're seeing some of the seniors giving us. We didn't understand, right? So I want to just talk about this particular. This one is very important. I think every young professional should be on this call, right? Because these are very key things that, just like what Monique said, if your family is not doing well, your job is not likely to go well, right? So it's something you really need. You might not be in a relationship or married now, but it's something you really need. How do you communicate clearly? Number one, first of all, right, you need to convey. Let's just say they transfer they transfer you from here. You're going to Houston. How do you communicate? Maybe assuming maybe you're the man. How do you want to just tell your wife that has a successful business here, right? That you are going to the US and all that, and she's not really interested, right? There are some particular things you need to do, like making her see a bigger picture. Maybe you can tell her, right, that, oh, this involves a bigger promotion that can be able to make you set up globally, right? That can have a brand in the world. This can buy this your dream house in Santorino, right? So those are things you put forward. I'm not saying that I'm the man of the house. This is where we are going to, right? So you have to make sure for you to communicate it clearly, you make her see the shared picture inside, like make her see how she features into, especially you and your kids, feature into the bigger one. Oh, this salary they are paying me is going to be times 10. It means I can get a vacation, we can go to any part of the world. Don't worry, you just have to have those reassurance. And another thing too is maybe you have something that will be demanding that is coming up, right? Always communicate early and tell her the timing, right? I'm talking about, you can just, it might be your spouse, it might be your kids, it might be your siblings, wherever at any stage you are in, your girlfriend or anything, that just ensure you communicate and say, okay, for so period, for within 2 to 3 months, I've been put in charge of a project. It might mean a demanding time for me in the evening. But at least by 7 p.m. I should be able to close with it. Those are communications. One thing about humans is that they can endure any hardship if they know the expiration date, right? So they need to know. But when you open it, when you make it open ended and they don't know what they are expecting and it looks like a lifelong thing, then they start questioning whether they can be able to do this. And that's why you see also divorce cases on the rise because of lack of this communication, right? So no matter how even was it not last year or last 2 years that even the once richest man in the world, Bill Gates, still had a divorce. These are things that might be connected to all this stuff. Maybe lack of communication, frequent, being out and all that. Many people think money is everything, not knowing that by the time you see your family gone out of from your sight, you now start to question you. Even Elon Musk posted recently too that money is not everything because he's starting to see some of the things you lose out when you just have the money and nobody to call family by your side, right? So number two, no, number three, another thing you need to do, you need to practice what they call the impact audits. What that means is that before you are even telling your family, you need to do an audit, or before you even accepting anything like a promotion or anything that maybe has to do with your career related, you need to know the impact it has on your family, right? What will relocation have? Of course, you are going to have lose your kids also will lose friends, right? If like just like what Prof mentioned, if your spouse has a business or something there, it means that she probably will not be in touch on that thing again. How impacting, what are the solutions you are having towards all those things? It can be that, oh, maybe the job you get now is increased traveling. That means the impact might be solo parenting on your spouse side. Can she be able to, manage this situation, right? How, because there are some environments, you need a man in the house at every time. So you have to have those things. Some of them, maybe if the company is promising you that, oh, we're being giving, no matter how much they're saying, oh, we're giving 500K for overtime. You have to check the impact it has because it means less quality time with your spouse. Yeah, another particular thing that we need to do to confirm, you need to another thing is to schedule a formal time to talk with your spouse. Most times when people want to convey some messages, especially men, let me put my gender in the mix, right? Is because they just feel they are the man of the house. They just come anytime. I'm traveling for 4 months, and the wife is like 4 months, no, because in her own mind she's thinking how will she cope. So you don't put up things when it is at, especially maybe you guys are just having a quarrel or you guys are having Please confirm you can hear me. Confirm you can still hear me, please.
Can hear you now, sir.
Okay, all right. So you have to be able to schedule a time that you both are well rested, to talk things through. Then also there are some things you need to do. They call it, creating a family non-negotiable list. What that means is that there are some ways where you can reassure your partner that okay, once I come back from work, I'm not doing any work duties from 7 p.m. And these ones, when you practice it, it reassures. And even you can go ahead to still tell your boss, and boss, there are some things I will not be able to do after 7. It has to wait. Yeah, people understand family, and all those kind of things. People understand. Yeah, there might be one or two cases, but when they understand that this is what you do normally, people will refrain from doing such tasks to you. So you can also, there are still some things that maybe you go to offshore and all that, and you can promise every day I must make video calls with you at least for 30 minutes. Those are things that will reassure your partner that yes, you still have them in mind. Or you can say, oh, every Sunday, just to make your presence to be felt, I'm donating pizza, I'm bringing pizza free for everybody. No, those are, even though you are not around, but they are feeling the impact that yes, that is the one doing, or my husband or whatever boyfriend is the one always there for me. And those little things count for a long time. Another part is to use, sometimes have to use code, right? Like we usually put like code for communication. There are sometimes you are at work, right? The calls are coming in from your family. You might be thinking it's just a normal I miss you. But if you communicate to them and say, just text me red, when it's very critical. Of course, no matter any business board meeting you are in, when you see maybe you got a message from your girl or your wife and you see, oh, red. So it means that you have to come and answer, and you can explain and tell, oh, okay, sorry, I will be out for a while, right? Those are things that means that, okay, you have that line of communication to say, at so time, if I let my husband or my wife know that, okay, this is something I'm testing to get his attention, he will always, answer. So those are very good ways to communicate. Also, you need to have that shared vision, right? You need to always communicate that long-term goal. Okay, you want to accept this job. There are some jobs that is going to take time, but oh, okay, I'm going to be able to do it for 5 years, and I will have to now realign to another thing. And if she agrees, it's fine, right? But if those careers I don't agree, it's going to be you're struggling a long time to talk. Then the last part is just to say, okay, we are going to revisit conversations maybe every 3 months, every 1 year, just to reassure ourselves that are we happy or not. Yeah, thanks. Let me stop here so that we can have other persons, to take in. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that lovely insights shared. And he said something that resonated. He said non-negotiable list, some things that you would not do, but you would do as well. You're at work, but you want to stop working by 9, by 7. And also he said use code red, code green, code yellow. Let there be this established code between partners and to identify emergencies and from normal situation. So thank you so much for that, sir. And I'll move on to the next question, which is for Professor Juliet, Ma. So Ma, the question is, how important is partner and family support in career resilience? And how can professionals nurture this support? Over to you, Ma.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ma.
Okay, so how important is partner and family? They are very, very important. In fact, they are even more important than the job. They are very, very important. Partner is very important. Your career resilience and family is very important because if they are not there, you cannot really be focused unless you are just a naturally single person. Fine. So partner and family support is foundational to resilience. You can't overemphasize that. Like in hand demand industry like the oil and gas, emotional isolation reduces performance over time because if you are like maybe you are not doing well at home, your husband or your children are not you still like it or not over time that affects your on board to be on the same
Please, your line is breaking. Is it just me?
table. This
No, Timmy, it's not just you. It's also the same on my hand.
Hello, ma. Hello, Prof. Okay, I think we might have lost her there. So maybe
can you hear me
Maybe.
now?
Yes, ma, we can hear you, ma. Please go ahead.
Okay, network took me out briefly. Okay,
Alright,
so I was saying that it's very, very important. And partner and family is very important unless you are just a naturally single person, and it's foundational to resilience. When you have a supporting spouse, it helps you to be able to build resilience in the office, because at times the career too is not easy. Like imagine somebody going to the field for 3 months, 4 months. It's not easy. I have a colleague. She 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 works in Chevron, and her husband works in Saudi Arabia. They are both in the oil and gas. Imagine at times the husband stays at like 3 months, 4 months. There was also he stays 6 months. Imagine that. So and she too, she's busy with Chevron. So if you are not supposed to each other, that marriage cannot last. But because they were understanding, they were supportive, it makes sense. So and one other thing, when you know that you are in a high demand, working for the high demand industry, also make sure that the time you spend is quality. It helps. So for instance now, if you are away for 1 month and you are going to be around for 1 month, that 1 month you are going to be around, make it as useful as possible, that your 1 month will look like 2 months. So everybody will feel your impact. So like me at that time, that I travel a lot, I do a lot of things. I do like 3 jobs together. So I mean a lot of things. So one phase I consult with the industry, one phase I'm in academia, one phase I'm in business. So I'm always busy. But so my children grow up, when they see me, they understand. They don't see me, they understand. But even in that, the time I have with them, if I have one day, 2 days, one week, that 1 week matters. And I must make sure that in every of their life, I cannot be so busy that if I miss this one, I will not miss the next one. For instance, if they have an open day in school where they were still in school, I have to have, if I miss one, I will not miss the next one. I will ensure that I plan them in my calendar. So if I look at my calendar, I fit it in. So I know that this. So when the meetings are coming on those days, or things are coming on those days, I know that this thing. Oh, can we shift this? Can we do that? So I'll still give them that sense of belonging. That's okay, fine. My mommy understand that I need her presence and this. And maybe for instance, that they're doing one particular event in their own school at that time. I'll still make sure that if I even fail to attend to one, I'll attend the next one. But some parents are absent totally. In fact, the day they get to their children's school, the children will be like, "What happened?" because they are never there. So no matter how busy, so those things helps that the children too will not be able to give you their support. The spouse will be able to give you their support because the time you are there, the time is counting. They know you are busy, yes, but the time is counting. So it helps. So and one other thing, you have to maintain a family routine. There are some family routine that like in Thomas speaker that you cannot what just let go. So when you are around, those things must be maintained. So if it's a prayer altar, fine. Make sure that you build. If it's a discussion time, fine. Because especially with men, it happens a lot with men. Men are just like, oh, fine. No, I'm the father of the house, I'm the husband, and they like being bossy. In that way, you will never be able to have a simple communication with your children. I know children at times, they tend to even confine their friends and they confine the parents. So if you are that type that have that discussion with them, oh fine, they would confide in you, they won't confide in friends. They will be to confide, even if it's that 1 week, 1 month you spend with them, they will need to talk to you. Even on phone, they will need to relate with you because they see you as a friend. But when you don't have that communication, when you don't have that family time with them, it becomes difficult. So and one other thing too, if you are a spouse and your spouse is understanding, learn to be appreciative intentionally. So like me, there was one time I was out of my house for 1 year. 1 year, 12 months I was out of my house, and my children were growing up. I had all of them already. They were growing up, but no, my husband worked for the IOCs. My husband worked for one of the IOCs, so he too was busy with oil and gas work. So, but at that point, I need to be out. I was just out of my house, not that I was going and coming. So we discussed, and he said, "Fine, let's see how I can step in and all that." And in the office, they understood his wife has to go through a particular phase, and he was not around. So his own duties were a bit. I think he had an understanding boss too. We were a bit understanding that. So they relaxed his what do you call it? I don't know. His is it T and T now and all that. And so he helped that he was available to, like, oh, this baby had temperature, you take him to the hospital and all that and all that. At times I cook, maybe I cook for a long time, but that food, how long will it last? So he comes in and he has to be in the kitchen. In fact, I understood that he had to sacrifice that 1 year. It was not easy for his career. It was not easy for the children, but everybody has to sacrifice. And so how many husbands will do that? That is, how many husbands will do that? And I believe also that happens. I think before our marriage. Let me just share this personally because at that time I don't know of now because maybe I'm not relating with, I'm not relating very well. Maybe young people are not, but at that time you see where those in the IOCs, those in the oil and gas said, my wife should not work because the work is demanding for me. You should not work. You should stay at home and care for the children. It was so rampant. It was everywhere. So when my husband wanted to get married to me, my father told him like 100 times, I did not train my daughter to be at home, to sit at home and be full-time housewife. So if you are looking for a full-time housewife like people are doing in oil and gas, this is not the right place. He said, like, I told my father, it's too much and you are there. He said, he has not heard. Let me say it again and again and again, again so that you will not understand. So let me try that to help that. He was so supportive. Even when I needed to have go back to school, have more degrees and all that, he was supportive. So that helped a lot. So and that too on my part, I was also appreciative. At least I was like, thank you so much. I understand this is very rare. So, but sometimes you can be a husband and explain to your wife, and your wife understand it, and you just feel it's a right. She's supposed to understand. Am I not the husband? No. So when your spouse is understanding, your children are understanding, be appreciative intentionally, and they will keep on understanding. But when you're not appreciative, when you take it as a right, then it becomes a problem. That is when people start having issues. Then be able to see how that you take major decisions collaboratively. That decision that you need to take, not only you and your spouse now, you bring your children in and let everybody be on the same page and be able to understand, agree, be able to take those decisions. So I've seen some women, I think particularly women, they go in, take some kind of decisions, get properties and all that. Their husbands are not aware, which is not supposed to be. Yeah, it's not supposed to be. So be able to, whatever decision at all, whether it's career, family, whatever, let it be together. So that when it's together, if any consequences or whatever come along the way, we're able to solve it together. But when you take decisions on your own, I just feel you can just dump it as for your information, then it becomes a problem. So don't just take any decision like, oh, whatever it says, I've made up my mind. Men are very good at that. I've made up my mind, whatever it takes. After all, I'm the breadwinner, I'm this, I'm that. At the end, that means you are not looking for a peaceful and a successful home. If you are looking for a peaceful and successful home, whether you are the husband, you are the wife, you must put into things in right perspective. And when everything is working well, your husband is understanding, your wife is understanding, your children, you see that your output in the office will be better, your performance will be higher than when you have trouble at home. Some people close and they don't want to even go home early. They want to go and hang out with friends and all that, take out of time. But because the home front is not settled. So before they get home, maybe it's 11 p.m. and all that, they just go to bed the next morning, they are out because what? The home front is not settled. But even though it's settled, you want to close early, you want to go home. So resilience is not a beauty in isolation at all. It is reinforced by relational stability, which is very key that we need to be able to look in. So as a young professional, partner is very key and support is very key. So like I said before in earlier my earlier response, that I've seen some young professionals that say they want to be successful first before they face a partner. You don't have time. You have to be multitasking. Multitasking is that as you are building your career, you are building your family. As you are building your career, you are building your family, and then you work together. Also, you want to put it 10 years first before you start looking for a family. Then you will retire and start training children and start. No, it's not okay like that. So let's be able to see how we can be multitasking and put family, put career, everything on the bucket and juggle them and see all of them are successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful response. Key things that stood out to me was when you said supporting spouse helps, like it helps to give you relevance at work, because when you have a good support system at home, it helps you at work as well. It reflects on work. And also when you said when you're in like a high demand job, you should always make sure that whatever time you're spending with your family, your children, your husband, you should always make sure that the time spending with them is quality, so that at least even when you're not around, they can always fall back to those memories and build a better and stronger relationship with you as time goes on. Thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful answer. So our next question, which is also going to be the last question because of time. I know we all want to continue the section, but due to time constraints, our next question is for Monique. Ma, please, what common relationship challenges come with demanding technical careers, and what strategies can mitigate these challenges?
Okay, thank you very much for this great opportunity. Just a minute. Okay, thank you very much. I'm back for question. First, I must say, Hope really said great points there in the question she just answered. And Mr. AB2 has mentioned some while he was talking about relocation. So one major relationship challenge that comes with a demanding technical career is limited quality time with family. And this cuts across maybe you want to travel, you have to go to the rig. Sometimes based on maybe my own job role, you might be told that you spend 7 days, and at the end of the day, you end up spending 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months that you don't even expect you are going to spend there. For some persons, there are some jobs that they do maybe 1 month in, 1 month out, while some persons might be okay, you have to travel to so and so country, you have to travel to so and so state to go and do your job. So that's one of the challenges that comes along with this kind of technical career jobs, because you always have limited quality time or limited time with your loved ones and with your family. Then another challenge that also come with this is you have what we call increased stress and fatigue. You always may be tired after a busy day at the office. You just want to come home, you just want to relax. Some persons, if they're not really understanding, might not want to give that time to their spouse, or just want to come home, eat and sleep. The next morning again, you continue. And yet you are chasing money, but the family is dying. Just like what Prof said, even if you are chasing money, please be mindful and be careful of your family, because it's very important that you don't lose out on family where you are chasing money. That's one point. Another issue is different priorities and expectations, where maybe you are telling your husband that we need to go out, tomorrow is our anniversary, and tomorrow they call him from the office that in the morning you are traveling to so and so location fast. Now, the job takes priority over the family. You have to cancel the vacation, or you have to cancel the plan and immediately carry your bag. Sometimes for my own job, bro, you might be in the office just normal, and the next thing I tell you carry your rig bag, because you always have rig bag in the office, because they can tell you to go to any location at any point in time. So those are kind of some challenges that come with this technical career. You can also have the always on mentality, whereby the spouse will always be on call. It's just like some of our job role. Sometimes 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I'm calling on my boss. Hello, sir, we have an issue here in the office. Sometimes you don't want to care if he's in the house with his wife, if he's on the same bed with his wife. You understand this kind of thing? And they have to pick because duty calls. And sometimes they're like, oh, we have such issue in the office, sir. Please, we need your approval for so and so. Why working at midnight? Sometimes another challenge is you have to work round the clock. I've gone to some job 48 hours, you've never slept safe. You are troubleshooting, or you have one thing or the other that you are doing. These are challenges that come with some of the technical roles. For some persons, their job role might be different and might not be as stressful, or might not have such kind of challenges that come with it. Another one might also be in terms of intellectual isolation. Maybe your partner is in a different, should I say, professionalism, which maybe your wife is an accountant, a doctor, an engineer, and you want to discuss with your wife, like, okay, I'm bringing in engineering terms and the person is not understanding. These are also some challenges in terms of communicating work issues to your partner. And now, going to strategies to mitigate some of these challenges. The first one, in terms of limited work time or limited quality time with family, Mr. Ibi have said a lot about it. Um, our professor has said a lot about it in terms of ensuring that you schedule times, quality time with your family. That time that you know that you are around, it goes both for the man and also for the woman. Make sure that you use quality um time with your family. Make sure that you use those times, very important. Use them very well. If you're at home, not that I'm at home, I'm staying with my family, I'm staying with my children. You can say, okay, at this point, I'm on leave, I'm on leave. Some persons, they're on leave and they're still doing one or two meetings or the other. You have one virtual meeting or the, you're on leave, oh, but yet you are still doing work, you are still carrying out virtual meetings, you are still answering calls. No. If you're on leave, let the leave be leave. Let it be family time. Sometimes you just switch off your phone. Sometimes you just want to tell them, hey, please, any work related issue, contact my, it can be your subordinate or contact my assistant. For now, I'm on leave. There's one of my boss that I know, once he's on leave, he drops his laptop in his office. So you cannot even contact him. Because what he believes is that if I'm not around, the company moves on. That's it. So you need to prioritize that family time. That's one of the strategies to one of the challenges that come with limited quality time. And also, there's also a part maybe when you have technology bringing in flexibility, that okay, I have remote work, like in my office, there's something you do remote logging. I don't necessarily need to be at the location to carry out that job. Now, technology brings in a part whereby it can also give you time. Yes, you are working, but maybe you might just be around in the home. You can also be logging, but you're not like in the location or in the field, or you're not traveling. That's one part as well. Then another strategy to mitigate such kind of challenges may also come with, good communication with your spouse. Like what Abby has said, you want to relocate. These are also part of the challenges that come with it. I can give an example like my daughter was about 4 months when I was told to travel to the US for a training. At first, I said, no, I'm not going. I say, you have to go. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. How can we work it out? Okay, who will hold the baby? How can I do this? What of the breastfeeding? So there were a lot of things we sat down, calculating risk, but this was done together as a family. And because of my husband's support and God, I was able to go to that journey, do the training. In fact, I even came out the best self in the midst of people from Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, different countries. I still came out best. Why? Because I had like that kind of motivation from my family, from my husband, from my children. So when you have this kind of great supportive spouse, it will help you overcome those kind of challenges that you get. And because when I came back, I just took like 2 weeks off. Anything about office, nothing, phone was off. This is time with family. That is it. So if you have those kind of challenges, then you utilize wisdom to know how to ensure that even with those challenges, you can mitigate some of them. Communicate always. Have that regular check with your family, with your partner. I'm calling my husband every day. I'm calling my children. How are they doing? You can also share responsibilities as well. When you're discussing with your wife, okay, this is my job. You can say it in a way that, oh, my wife can understand how my work happens and can maybe give me advice or give me, suggestions how my work can be better. So those are the little things that come. Let me not take so much time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Monique, for that. That was really, really nice. And she has said a lot. She has mentioned prioritize family time because let's note that if you're not around, the company will move on. So when it's time for family, it is time for family. And also ensure that when you are getting like someone to be your partner, ensure you prioritize support because support has helped us so much. It has helped everybody on the call. It has helped them in every part and to succeed very well. So Thank you so much to our panelists, our keynote speaker, the person that took our up, Madam Madeline. Thank you so much. We are glad to have you on the call. And this is where we end the panel session and would like to take questions. I will hand over to the moderator to take the session. Thank you so much to all our participants as well.
Thank you so much. These are conversations we need to be having. This is also insightful. I mean, our speakers did not just come to give us abstract answers. They gave us their real life experiences, strategies they've used. They give us examples. They give us peek into their personal lives, and we are so grateful. We do not take that for granted. Thank you so much. So please, if you have your questions, you can drop them in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand. I believe there are some things like Samuel said earlier, that there are some questions you ask ChatGPT. That this is the time you should ask them. Ask humans who have walked this path before, so that you can get real life answers. You not just get abstract or some unrealistic answers from ChatGPT. So please, if you have your questions, we look forward to taking them. Questions? Oh, it's like I don't want to jump into conclusion quickly. Questions and answer session. Okay, thank you very much. We have the first question. How can we find a supportive partner? Yes, actually, for someone who might be so engrossed with work as an early professional, so how can we find a supportive partner? That's a question from Timitokwe. So any of our panelists can answer that for us. Professor Ma.
I think I can see Mr. Ibi's hand.
Okay. I didn't see that. Okay, Mr. AB.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to, to add to this by saying, no, Prof and Monique, they will do justice better because they already got, partners and all that, right? But I wanted to add because you either learn in two ways, right? Those that are in transition phase or those that have already done so. What I would advise, I remember as an active student member, like a student like me, I went through all the process of SP in terms of meeting people, networking, and all that. But then, very very career focused kind of person. I couldn't like look at my WhatsApp. It's always very dry. But now 200 messages, I don't even know how to reply. How to keep up with how to keep up with a just one person chatting most times. Like I mean, focus chat. You have to pin that chat. That's and before it gets to pinning the chat of someone, it means that that person must have really been very close and all that. So what I'm trying to drive at is even if you know you have where you're going to in life, you have to start looking just like what Prof said. You don't have to have all the money in the world, all the job in the world to before you start thinking of a family, right? Even while for some of you YPs, some of you students, while you go to that conference, look out even before you become, the person, the dream job, even because before you have that dream job that you want to have, make sure you are looking around for someone who aligns with your dream. Because to get to a point where you become so busy that the time you have to spend with people that you could have connected emotionally with, might not be there anymore. But it's those reservoirs that you have already had with them during your time where you are not so busy those are the times, those are the quality times I will count, and they will know that, oh, this person will still have time for me, regardless. So I just wanted to say one good way to know is the social networking you have, getting to spend time more with people even before you get those very busy, or you get to positions that are really very demanding. But one good thing about life is that when somebody stood by you all the way down to before you really had maybe something of, very of value, you are always there with the person, come 247 most times. That's how it works, right? So yeah, I will just end there by saying, let's look around now, even as YPs, for some of us that be looking around, even people moderating on the call within ourselves, we'll be having more social bonding self, so that we increase the number of married people in our set this year. Thank you.
Okay, so let me add to that briefly. That question says, how do you find a supportive partner, right? So, finally, that's why we have a period of dating. When I say dating, it's not the courtship. I mean, not the sexual part, but at least to know yourself. Somebody cannot just walk up to you now. I want to get married to you. In 2 weeks, you are done with marriage. No, that is wrong. So you should be able to have that time to know that person. And there are things. At times when we get when you are going undergoing courtship, red flags will come up. But most people, they just ignore the red flags and say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Or I will change him. I will change her. No, don't ignore them. So discuss everything discussable that you need to during that time. If there are things, see, there are two ways. There are things that you can tolerate, and there are things that you cannot tolerate. So if the partner, for instance, now, if somebody that have excessive anger, you can't tolerate it, and you know that, and the person, you know that if person have it and it's abusive, and you say, oh, you will change, hey, you are in for another kettle of fish. So for instance, during the time of courtship, if somebody is saying that you there's no career for you, I will take care of you, I can give you all. Why do you need to work? I can provide for you. Yes, I have all the money in the world. He can pay you maybe 1 million a month as a wife or as a husband. But how long will he pay that? How long will he continue? You understand me? So you should be able to know. So know those things. People discuss those things. So if those are aligning well, fine. No, there's no perfect spouse there. So there are things that you can tolerate, you can work with, you can amend, you can adjust. But there are some things that you cannot tolerate, you cannot live with in life. So you leave them out. So they are not many, maybe two or three. So if those red flags are coming up, discuss them, see how it goes. If you just package it, the answer, you know. If it's what you can manage, fine. So with that 6 months of courtship or 1 year of courtship, as the case may be, you know you are going ahead or you are not going ahead. So it's better to have a broken courtship than to have a broken marriage. Because if your spouse is not supportive and things start going front and back, it becomes a problem. I have a friend that she worked in Shell. I think she just retired now. She retired about 2 3 years ago, and the husband was working in immigration. This happened so many years ago, and the husband said that she's not too loyal because she's having more money. So for that, she should resign the job if she wants the marriage to continue. And somehow like that, she saw this red flag coming in before, and she said no. Front and back, that marriage was dissolved because she didn't want to resign, and the man went his own way. So imagine those kind of this thing. The red flag were there, but she didn't take it. But thank God she had her children already, so she became a single parent, take care of her children, and she just moved on. So when the red flag are coming up, let us notice the red flag and see what we can do about the red flag. Let's not ignore the red flag. The red flag will come again. Like in church, my daddy Gio, Pastor Adeboye, used to tell us one thing. He said, if love is blind, marriage will open the eyes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma, for
Thank
that response. Go ahead, Victoria, if you're on the call.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Ma, for that response. That's so insightful. I mean, we need to, like, I don't even want this call to end. I'm so getting so much knowledge. So we have another question here that says, how do both parties balance training children effectively in between all this? I mean, all this by maybe work life demands. how do both parties balance training children effectively in between all of this? Yes.
I should go ahead.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So like as I said earlier, so balancing this, you must be part of the child's training, and the couple must cooperate together in the sense that children at times that they are growing up, they become very smart. They want to win daddy on one side, they want to win mommy on one side, and all that. So you should be able to see how that two of you must be with one voice in the sense that daddy says A, and mommy must back daddy up with that A. And mommy says B, daddy must back mommy up with that B. They can see two of you together. In that way, you should be able to you see that you will. But if daddy is saying something and mommy is saying, no, 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 don't mind your daddy. What is that? It becomes a problem. Or mommy is saying something that daddy will not say. Even if you have a different opinion, just be quiet. When you go into the room, when it's only two of you, can say, no, I think we should do better this way or that way. Fine. You also don't argue about my child should do this or that. Two of you as parents together in front of the child. So you're able to put those things together and be able to see how you do that training effectively and be part of that training. Don't say my wife is doing it. So for that, at least I'm supporting on the money. No. Or my husband is doing it. Be part of that child's life. It's very key. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. It's just
Note, Victoria, sorry, please. We have Dr. Sarah's hand up and Miss Rejoice. I think we can have Dr. Sarah first, then we take Miss Rejoice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for recognizing me and allowing me to speak. I must say that I've enjoyed myself listening to this panel session. Thank you so much. I just want to say something on the previous questions, just a little contribution. You see, I'm so impressed that beyond handling technical topics, we are also looking at human factors. You can't actually live your life in the technical world alone. These are realities that people face. One of the things I want to just drop with us is the fact that we need to be intentional and carefully make a decision on the kind of spouse you want to have. Um, Madam, I don't know if Madam Magdalene is still on the call, but the oil and gas industry has the highest divorce rate. The last time I checked, in fact, somebody in Total confirmed that to me. And why is that so? Especially for on the women's side, a lot of women are single parents. Why is that so? I can't give all the reasons, but your guess is as good as mine. Some of us have shared stories on supportive spouse. Our two speakers have shared stories of having supportive spouse. That is such a blessing. And I want to say, every young person, this is something that, nobody can do for you. Only God can help you achieve that. Vis-a-vis what your life goals are, your career goals. And when setting these goals, don't be selfish. Remember that the other person also has their life goals and should be supported. The sacrifice should be mutual. Because while we started, it's like somebody was all about money, 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 money. When Monique was explaining her job routine, I sat here, I'm saying, Father, I thank you. Because I know how desperately I wanted such a job. And I got to the last stage where God didn't let me go because He knows I may not be able to cope in that circumstance. So let's take our time to ensure that we are intentional about our decisions. And I want to key into Professor's talk of love being blind. Love shouldn't be blind. She talked about red flags. I agree 100% with her. But many times we see those red flags and we're still going. I want to encourage everyone, please, just take the time and pray. Let me land it. Pray and ask God for the gift of a good spouse. But be sure that you yourself are working towards becoming a good spouse to another person. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you so much, ma, for that contribution. Thank you so much, ma. Miss Rejoice, you can, the floor is yours, ma.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear my voice.
Yes, ma, we can hear you, ma.
Okay, so I've been listening to everything and all of the insights that the panelist has been giving through the questions and answer ever since, and I agree, yeah. But out of curiosity, I want to ask, in a very fast-paced industry like the banking industry or, of course, the oil and gas industry, how do we impress the human capital management and align with the company vision enough to scale up and gain promotions when we are always leaving work at work to face family once it's close of business? Like, it's beautiful to have work-life balance, yeah, but if we just want to give it all to family and then just leave work at work because it's close of business and we have to go home to our families, how then do we scale and gain promotions? I mean, I'm just curious. I want to know. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma, I
Yeah.
can hear. We can hear you. That's very, very important topic. That's very true because most people we even see that get promoted at work most of the time they overdo. Like they always go overboard with their work. They take it home. They continue at home. So we love if more light can be shed on that, ma. Our dear panelists. Yes.
Okay, my hand is up. I don't know if you can see.
Okay, sir. I'm sorry I can't see, but you can go on, sir.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Great question that this person that just brought it just outlined. So what I would say first of all is that be aware that no one on their deathbed ever said that they wish they spend more time at work. You know, people always say they talk about how they should have spent more time with the people they love, right? It's just that sometimes the hard worker that doesn't really know how to apply knowledge to work, they do things in excess, right? That they lose family. Just like what Dr. Prof mentioned, that you see some people they worked hard to get money to train their kids abroad and all that. And those kids tend up to some of them, not all, right? You see some persons they are not drug addicts and the man starts regretting that he should have stayed more so that he can notice some of those things to nip them in the bud. Some of us in our respective place of work were high flyers, but it doesn't mean that the boundary. I think if they have asked me that last question, probably could have addressed some of this. You could have addressed some things that they just raised. You can be a hard worker, but just create boundaries, right? By boundaries, you can communicate and there's what they call the advance notice that you can tell your manager, oh, okay, I'll have my anniversary, so. I would like to have a good time with my family because of this, right? And if he gives you this thing, you know that you are off work. And also to your spouse, too, whenever they are also demanding time, just communicate on both ends. So communication is one key thing, first of all. You don't have to say if the manager calls at every time you're spending time you leave your dinner and you are running straight to work. That doesn't get you the promotion. What gets you promotion is, people are looking for innovative solutions to getting things done. How you're a people person and all that. That doesn't mean that you should leave your family, to attend to such things. Yeah, there are some times where work is demanding. Few times, you might stay overboard, but you call your family and say, oh, this is what is happening. We might stay. So communication is what gets you to have that balance. Communication, very important, understanding and all that. So yeah, you can be an half flyer to be an high flyer at work doesn't mean that you must leave your family aside. That's why we're having presentations like this so that we can know how to do a work-life balance. I don't know if that addresses the question. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Let me add to that. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma, we can hear you, ma.
Okay, so when you have something to do, depending on I support the last speaker, and depending on the time the session or the phase you are in the office. So, for instance, when you are preparing to deliver a particular project, which is like maybe a month or maybe thereabouts, you can spend all the time. They'll be understanding that, oh, for these 2 weeks you are really in, you are going to work, but that will not be continuous. So for that 2 weeks, you can work as long as maybe 2 a.m. or whatever. And all, but once you are done with you deliver that, let it be. Come back to your normal life. Because if you say, for instance, I was speaking to one COO, Chief Operating Officer, and somehow I sent a shot, and I like, okay, my mom was like, let me drop the shot so that as you wake up in the morning, you will get it. And that was around 1 a.m. And he just replied, I'm still in the office. I need to deliver where there's a rig coming in. I need to deliver this. I was like, wow, you are still in the office 1 a.m. And he will go home that day. Imagine that kind of thing. So those period is a period or it's a time, it's a particular timing that okay, and it's not only in the office. The even his boss was there and all that. They were all together having and putting things together, which is okay. But if that now continues to be all year round or in the next 6 months, it becomes a problem at home. But if you do it, deliver it, and you come back to your normal life, they too will understand that you need to get this thing done and deliver it properly. So yes, there are times that you need to really be exceptional so that you can put it in the right perspective. Yes, you can put in that work, but have a time frame for it, and just keep to that time frame and let it be done, and you come back to your normal life. Fine. But if you say, "Oh, I must be 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8 a.m. to 5 p.m," it will be very difficult. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you so much. Thank you so. In fact, thank you again. We are super grateful. Thank you to everybody that joined this call for asking insightful questions. No question asked yesterday was very foolish. It threw more light into areas we face on day-to-day basis. So I think this is where we draw the curtain for today. But before we go, we'll be having the closing remark from Mr. Okeogene Omoluabi, the Sponsorship Committee Chairman, SP Warri, Section 104.
So much. Thanks a lot, moderator.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone that has put this session program together. I see it's a very interesting one, and people didn't want to leave. Very interesting questions, answers provided. I think this is one of the best we've had so far, and it's coming on Valentine's Day. A lot of talks about love and all of that. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. So.
Thank you, sir.
For permission not to put on my video, I'm still in my work role. I got off work to join this session. Yeah, first, I think we need to appreciate our esteemed speakers for the very insightful contributions to this pressing topic. And also to thank our listeners. They've paid rapt attention, asked very relevant questions. We thank them for the thoughtful engagement they have had. I think your presence and participation have actually made this program quite meaningful and very impactful as well. From the conversations we've had today, you can very well understand that love, career, and family are not competing forces at all. They are not pulling us in different directions. Rather, what they do is that they complement themselves. They provide complementary pillars that actually lead to fulfilled life. Yeah, I heard the talk about that the G was saying that if love is blind to you, marriage will open your eyes, and that's quite a very useful one. And I think the underlying message there is, don't be blind in love. When you see the red flags, ensure to do the right thing, do the needful. Too often we are made to believe that pursuing professional success must come at the expense of our relationships. But like Professor Juliet, Madam Monique, and the other speakers spoke about, I think we have come to understand that that's not true at all. We said because we want to pursue professional success. we also to entirely choose family, and for that we're abandoning our ambition. We have come to understand from this session that we are deeply connected and can strengthen one another when we properly, those purpose, not and it gives us that drive to grow. And provides that emotional strength and stability. That's what we've learned today. And it is a safe space where we find encouragement during setbacks and motivation to keep striving. Sometimes you can feel very demotivated in the office. You get home and your spouse, your partner that gets you gingered. I remember the story of, sorry, I'll just digress a bit. I remember the story of Dr. Babs Omotowa. There was a time, if you read his book, From Storeroom to Boardroom, there was a time he was going to, resign from his job because he was facing certain racial abuse or discrimination at his workplace on a foreign ground. And it took the wife's residence and, conversation with him for him to resign on that decision. Babs Omotowa went on later on his career to become the managing director of Nigeria LNG, global vice president of Shell, I think, if I'm very correct. And today he's a non-executive director of the NNPC. You can imagine that it took his spouse, that conversation, that useful conversation at that point. So you can see that love, career are not disconnected. They are actually interconnected. The true balance, therefore, does not mean giving equal time and energy to everything at all times. Like Monique correctly pointed out, life naturally comes with seasons, moments when career demands more attention, and other times when it is about family. I think Monique also mentioned the case of a boss that would drop the laptop in the office so that you are not able to reach him when he's on leave. You understand? So you have to know how to actually maintain that balance. These are things that we have learned today. One time the speakers for doling out these ones to us. They are lessons that would remain with us forever. Those who are yet married, and even those who are young in marriage, and those who have spent several years in marriage. These are lessons that would really help to shape our lives towards fulfillment. Thanks a lot to our speakers. Thanks to the organizers. You have done very well in organizing this program. All the work you have done behind the scene. We really do appreciate you. Thanks to all the listeners and participants today. I think at some point, Madam Magdalene joined. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Juliet. We doff our hearts for you, for the many. Dr. Ebinimi, thank you so much. Monique, AB, and everyone. Engineer AB and everyone. Thank you very much for the great lessons we have learned from you today. I hope this session was recorded so that we can share for the purpose of those who could not attend due to one engagement or the other. Yeah, on this note, I say thank you on behalf of SP Warri, and we would keep coming to you for more of such engagements. And those who are joining us for the first time, ensure to register with SPE if you are not yet a member. If you are a member, look out for our programs and continue to join. Yeah, thank you very much, and back to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, sir. That just summarized it all. They are not competing, but they are complementing each other. Thank you so much, sir. We're very grateful. So if you missed the first photography session, this is another one. So if you can, please turn on your camera. You can. Yeah, it's quite dark here. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So nice to see our faces. We can do the thumbs up sign or the peace sign. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I believe
I've captured it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was such a great time today, and I particularly enjoyed moderating this session. In fact, I enjoyed it so much. So, on this note, I'll be wishing everybody happy Valentine. Those that are single, we will get our supportive partner, which is So happy Valentine. Happy
Happy Valentine's Day
Happy
to
Well
you.
Valentine. Yeah.
Happy
Valentine.
Valentine's to everyone.
Well done,
Thank you so
Prof.
much.
Thanks.
Happy
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Valentine.
you.
Thank
Well
you.
Take
done.
care.
Dr. Sarah, well done. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
to
Happy
see you.
Wish your
Valentine to
friends and
Oh,
family
everybody.
our
happy
Assistant Director,
Okay.
Dr.
celebration.
Lee. Well done.
Well
Well done,
done.
Prof.
It's
Yeah.
lovely
Thanks, man.
Well
session.
done, Ibi. Well
Thanks.
done, Ibi. Thank
Thank you
you.
very
Thank you to
Yeah.
much.
everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Mikey, thank you
All
so much.
right.
Victoria, thank you for
Happy.
anchoring this session.
Yes, thank you. All right.
Okay. Have a nice evening.
Yes, you too, ma. Thank you all for joining. See you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Nice moderation. Bye.
Well done, Temi.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.